please, don't try anything that you're about to see us do at home.
Ever.
On this episode of MythBusters,
This one's for distance and for glory.
Sergeant Heineman and Private Savage get into hot water,
Working on these machines is great for my skin.
investigating a Civil War machine gun supposedly powered by steam.
Isn't that awesome?
Then it's Liar Liar Pants on Fire,
You're not a thief, right? No. Good.
when Cary, Grant, and Tori embark on some crime and punishment to test mythical ways of beating the lie detector. Who are the MythBusters?
It's time to blow some stuff up.
Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman.
That was fun.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
This is the kind of thing I do on the weekend.
Joining them, Carrie Byron,
Come over here, you smell that?
Grant Imahara,
He's alive.
and Tori Palachi.
This is starting to feel like a bad idea.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Suck your gut in there, soldier. I detect a Civil War myth on the way.
Sir, that's correct, sir! I'd like you to picture the following in your head. In the Civil War, the main thing they used for all their cannons and their guns was black powder, but the Confederate Army was running out of black powder towards the end of the Civil War, and so decided to design a steam-powered machine gun, sir!
Well, hold on a second. Haven't we already been down that road with steam cannons? They didn't work too well.
Sir, that's correct! We did build a steam cannon, sir, but this is not a cannon powered by pressure. This is a machine gun powered centrifugally by a spinning disc that flings the projectile like a slingshot out of the gun. It's up to us to build one, sir!
Gee, that sounds like fun.
Stand easy, Private Savage. There's a graphic coming. Modern machine guns work using explosive force to fire bullets at a rapid rate. But incredibly, this Civil War gun worked more like a slingshot. A slingshot uses centrifugal force to propel a projectile. Replace the sling with a barrel, and add them with a steam engine, and you've got yourself a mythical steam machine gun.
You know, machine guns are complicated. This is going to be a tough build.
Yeah, and right now there are way too many unknowns. We don't even know if this thing existed, let alone if there are any plans, if it was ever used in battle, or if it was just some propaganda machine.
Yeah, we can't just go inventing something. We need more information about it.
More facts is what I've got for you, because the researchers have gotten us a Civil War expert specifically on this gun. I'm gonna go talk to him, find out what he knows, and that should give us a real leg up to getting started.
Okay.
Down at Fort Point, in the foggy shadow of the Golden Gate Bridge, Adam meets Civil War weaponry expert John Lamb, who hasn't just heard of the mythical device, he's studied it.
Tell me about this thing. Tell me everything. Tell me everything.
The most important place to start is the wine and steam gun did exist. It's a real device, it did exist.
And he's brought along the original plans to prove there's nothing mythical about this gun. Which begs the question,
Now, can you tell me how it actually worked?
The best way to describe it for you is a barrel with the opening at the top, and then it comes down in a curve and goes out like this. So as it turned around, it would snap one piece of shot out, keep going, do another.
How lethal was this thing? And how fast could it fire?
That's the big mystery. There are accounts saying it was tested and it seemed to be really deadly. There are others that say it never worked and nobody could prove it. So that's the big mystery.
so now that Adam and Jamie know the gun existed, their task is to build it and get to the bottom of the disparate accounts of how effective it was. And back at HQ, they begin by brainstorming to bring the original plans back to life.
You know, Adam, I think we need to break this down into the discrete parts.
They finally get to grips with their mammoth task by boiling it down to 4 key components. The gun barrel,
Oh, okay, so it's, the business end is a curved barrel there.
Yeah.
a method of feeding ammo into the gun,
We're going to use a hollow axle to feed the ammo in.
a motor to spin the gun barrel,
The first thing that comes to mind for me is an air tool, impeller.
yeah,
It's all out.
and easiest of all, steam to power the motor.
Why don't we get a water heater?
Which leaves just one question.
What are we going to use for ammo?
I think we should go with steel balls.
This is going to be terrifying. Good. We got a plan.
I totally agree. Let's get to it.
So after a Category 5 brainstorm, the guys have a plan, which looks a lot like this. 2 water heaters will generate steam, driving 2 motors. These in turn will spin the curved gun barrel at 2,000 RPM. A clockwork ammo feeder will drop the ball, and the centrifugal force will fling it out the barrel. At least, that's the theory. Because, as this glimpse into the future confirms, this ballistic build will test the team's engineering skills to the limit.
I've never heard anything like that.
and provide another frightening example of just how dangerous being a Mythbuster can be. But all that's for later. First up is the spinning, flinging heart of the steam machine gun, the curved barrel. Unlike the Confederates, Jamie has access to some impressive 21st century technology. But throughout the process, the guys plan to stick to the Civil War specs.
Well, so far so good. This is actually coming together quite nicely. I gotta say, while it doesn't look like a gun barrel, it's actually really quite terrifying. Adam, check this out.
So the bullet goes in there and comes out here.
It's working!
That is so cool.
Now imagine that spinning at 33 times a second, and you can see why this ballistic build is making everyone nervous.
Yeah, I know it's fun. Let me get back to work.
So, Carrie, have I ever told you that I sing in Adam's band, the Ginger Tops, twice a month?
No. And also, he was voted in Germany the sexiest TV star, second only to David Hasselhoff.
No.
Have I told you that I was a small Wookiee in Star Wars Episode 3?
No, you didn't, because I would have seen you because I was a small Wookiee.
Now you get it. We're lying. You know why?
No.
Because the fans have asked us to test out mythical ways to beat the polygraph machine.
Once we're done with that, we're going to go up against the latest in lie detecting technology, the fMRI.
Awesome, I haven't been this excited since my last cage match.
Yeah, I want a rematch.
I won't lie to you. The polygraph has been shrouded in controversy. Some say it's infallible, but the Mythbuster fan sites are awash with claims it can be beat first time, every time.
Okay, mythical ways to beat the polygraph. How are we gonna do this?
Well, it sounds like there's two different ways to beat the polygraph machine, and that's physical and mental. Now, the physical, you apply pain while you're telling the truth, whether you're biting on your tongue or stepping on a tack. So that way, when you're telling the lie, it seems like you're relaxed, and they think you're telling the truth.
And the mental way is to think of very stressful thoughts while you are telling the truth, and when you tell a lie, you think of very happy thoughts.
Well, we've used a polygraph before, but we are not remotely qualified to do it for something this serious. I think we need to find an expert, somebody who works with the police or the FBI or something.
Well, we have a few friends in law enforcement. Let's go down to the South San Francisco PD and ask them for a few tips.
So, first up, it's off to the cop shop. Because if they're going to test techniques to beat the lie detector, they want to know the optimum conditions for a real polygraph test. Lieutenant Varney's recipe for polygraph success has 4 key ingredients. 2 long hours in a sterile, distraction-free location cover the first 2.
Third issue is that is of bias. We really don't want the examiner to meet our subject before the test.
So far, so good. But it's the final factor that's the most critical of all.
There needs to be a big lie. There needs to be a reward versus punishment aspect to it. If you wanted an accurate test of this, you would need to commit a crime.
It slowly dawns on the guys. If they want to test this myth properly, they'll have to actually commit a crime. And that's because a lie detector works by measuring the physiological changes to the human body associated with stress, including heart rate, blood pressure, and sweat. So committing a crime with consequences stressful enough to sweat over is the only way to really put the polygraph through its paces. Back at the shop, the team begin by building the interrogation chamber. But remember, if you can't do the time, don't do the mime. Despite the clowning around, following Lieutenant Varney's advice, they've soon got the perfect location for their lie detector tests, including the obligatory 2-way mirror.
You ever get the feeling people are watching us work? All the time.
Coming up on MythBusters, we make a steam machine gun!
During the Civil War, the Confederates, spurred on by dwindling gunpowder stores, designed and built a steam machine gun. But did it actually work, and what was it capable of? Questions Adam and Jamie intend to answer by building their very own steam machine gun.
That is so cool.
Jamie has completed the crucial curved gun barrel, and he's welded it into the heavy-duty frame.
Oh, that's lovely.
What they need now is a motor to drive it.
This is an air impact wrench, and because we're making a steam machine gun, I figure a good place to start is to use an air impeller, an air motor.
Driven by compressed air, it's perfect, because after they incorporate it into their design, they can simply replace the air with steam power. Adam cuts a steel safety collar. It encircles the barrel of the gun, ensuring the bullets can exit in just one direction. And that means the guys are on track. The barrel is spinning smoothly, and the motor is firing at the target speed. The next component in this beast of a build is Adam's ammo feeder.
This right here is the clockwork that will pace out the bullets being dropped into the barrel.
So, this complicated clockwork design can be dialed to drop the ammo into the rotating barrel at just the right moment. If it works, the bullet will be flung with maximum speed and in the correct direction.
It may look like a simple clockwork, but I think of it as a map of the most complex clockwork, like the planets. It is not a planetary gear, but I think of it as a planetary gear because each thing, like a planet, moves in its place and goes where it should. It is not only a map of the planets, it is also a map of the atom. In this way, the microcosm is the macrocosm, and phylogeny recapitulates ontology. I call it my orrery.
After fighting his lost marbles, Adam adds his masterpiece to the rig.
This is real. It's working now.
Which means the guys are ready to put the steam into their steam machine gun. And for that, they'll need a household hot water heater, a plumbing necessity the guys recently discovered has the explosive potential of a bomb. If the pressure is kept below the failure point of 350 psi, they should be ideal to power the gun.
There's a lot of energy in steam and in water heaters, and that's why we're going to use one for this job.
Perfect. That ought to do.
And with the last nut, bolt, and ballistic shield in place, the guys are finally ready for a test fire.
All right, I'm putting in one of our target bullets.
So Adam feeds the ammo feeder, Jamie hits the power, and the water heaters are on the boil. But as the tanks heat up and the pressure increases, an eerie hum rings out over M5.
What do you think that is?
I don't have a clue. Seems to be coming out of this one more, though.
The boys are baffled, and while they search for the sound source, the pressure and heat slowly but surely rise.
We've got water at 260 some odd degrees. It's at 167 psi. It's a huge amount of energy.
But with a whole heap of homemade plumbing involved, there's an element of doubt.
That's so creepy.
And Adam is feeling the pressure.
Can we just go away from the steam and do only air pressure?
At a complete loss as to the source of the mysterious sound,
Just stay out of the jet.
they open up a release valve to let off some steam. And to everyone's relief, the eerie end-of-the-world humming stops.
Now just stop.
Cue a relieved, adrenaline-fueled Adam waxing lyrical about his industrial steam engineering brethren.
Doing this, I feel a total kinship with the guys who invented this thing. This was made during the steam age. Steam was the power, and it is an incredible power.
Counterintuitively, after letting off all that steam, their prototype has maintained its pressure. And here's our resident steam lover to explain why.
The moment we release pressure, all the water that isn't steam is being turned to steam to help keep that pressure up. It's very exciting. It's actually
Yeah, stop talking. What's the PSI?
171.
Okay.
With Adam doing his best kid in a candy store impression and the rig holding its pressure, the guys are finally ready to unleash the steam power and fire up their gun.
All right, so this is first test of Adam and Jamie's steam machine gun.
With the team safely behind the ballistic shield, Adam remotely releases the ball. Incredibly, 100 years after it was designed,
What are we doing?
Oh, wow.
this steam-powered gun works.
What did it do to
That
our...
worked beautifully. We're at 155 psi. I can see where it hit. Look at that.
Is there a dent on the outside metal?
Yes.
It put a dent in a 1/4 inch of steel, and that means to me that if we get it tuned right and the ball doesn't hit the steel, instead it comes out of the gun the way it's supposed to, it'd probably go through a person. So it is, in fact, lethal as it stands now.
Despite a timing issue resulting in a slingshot firing into the safety collar and not through the gap, Adam and Jamie have a proof of concept.
Nice. I'm very pleased and terrified.
Next up, the team turned criminal.
Was it you who stole that cash?
No.
And hit the polygraph hot seat.
It's got the 3rd degree.
Last time the MythBusters played with a polygraph,
All right, Grant, I got our guinea pig.
they attempted to get in touch with a plant's feelings. But this time the team is tackling mythical techniques to beat the rap by perplexing the polygraph. But before the interrogation comes the crime. And Adam, our criminal mastermind, has all the details.
In these 3 envelopes, I have a crime which 2 of you will commit and 1 will not.
After handing over the sealed envelopes, Adam leaves the team to individually open their instructions. Burglar Balachi is first.
All right. So here are the directions. Enter Jamie's office. Next to the computer on the top shelf of a tall white bookshelf, you will find a tan cash box. Inside the box, you will find a wallet. Open the wallet and remove $50.
Grant is next, and his task is identical to Tori's. And with the cash safely stashed, he slips away to spend his ill-gotten gains. Last up, Carrie.
You are the innocent party. Do not search the room. Do not disturb anything.
So Carrie is the all-important control. She didn't steal any cash, and during the interrogation, will answer all questions truthfully. Which means it's time to meet the man with the machine. Dr. Michael Martin has been a polygraphist for over 15 years and has conducted over 8,000 lie detection tests.
There's a lot of people out there that think that polygraphs are total bunk. How would you respond to that?
Well, first of all, let's look at the research. The federal government has done quite a few studies, and each study, the test results fall anywhere from about 80% to about 99% in accuracy.
Before the guys test the reality of those impressive numbers, Ringmaster Adam has one more trick up his sleeve.
If you are able to conceal whether or not you did this crime from our polygraphist, the next time you fly for MythBusters, you'll be flying first class. Yes! However, if you fail to conceal whether or not you did this crime from the polygraphist, you will be washing, waxing, and polishing every single crew member's car on MythBusters.
Oh, this sucks. This went from fun to not fun.
Yeah.
With the threat of some real work hanging over their heads, the pressure is on. Burglar Balachi will be the first to face the music. But how exactly will he attempt to outwit the polygraph?
My secret weapon. I'm gonna stick the tack in my pocket like this, point it at my leg, and whenever I'm telling the truth, I'm just gonna press down on my leg. It should hurt.
Remember, the polygraph works by measuring the stress of lying. So the theory is, by stressing your body with pain on the truthful answers and relaxing on the lies, the machine can't tell the difference. To begin the test, Dr. Martin asks a bunch of simple calibration questions.
Is your first name Salvatore?
Yes.
Remember, every time he answers truthfully, he presses in the tack.
Did you steal that cash discovered missing from Jamie's office today?
No.
But the sensors on the seat and floor catch even the slightest suspicious movement.
Okay, that's a movement. Please keep your eyes straight ahead.
I tried going for the tack, and he called me out, so I had to go straight to biting my tongue.
So it's Plan B. Tori's new painful countermeasure is tongue biting.
During your entire life, did you ever see money stolen from a cash box, a white envelope? Did you steal that cash?
No.
After a further 80 minutes of intense scrutiny and deliberately confusing questions,
that's it. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Tori and his tongue finish the interrogation close to breaking point.
Got the 3rd degree. Felt like the screws were being tightened down on me.
Grant's next, and for his technique, rather than getting physical, he's going mental.
My happy/erotic thoughts are puppies licking my face and scantily clad women.
Okay. So Grant will use the power of his not inconsiderable mind. By thinking stressful thoughts of getting caught when being honest and happy thoughts when lying, the test results are supposedly rendered inconclusive.
Regarding that cash reported missing that money stolen from a cash box, your entire life, did you ever break my question? Was it you who stole that cash?
No.
Grant's technique requires absolute focus and concentration.
No.
But the intensity and length of the interview are designed to counter Grant's countermeasure.
That's gonna do it.
Last up is innocent little Carrie.
I don't like people throwing unexpected questions at me like that. I've seen Montel. I know how they take people off guard.
Is your first name Carrie?
Remember, she's the control and didn't steal any cash. But despite her innocence, the stressful environment and questioning takes its toll.
Was that money stolen from a white envelope in Jamie's chair? The cash reported missing from Jamie's office. You are afraid I will ask.
I was waiting for that moment where I was going to break down. No.
The question is, will her nerves confuse the polygraph and lead to a false accusation?
That's the worst.
And to find out exactly who will be charged with the crime and who won't, Dr. Martin gathers the suspects for the results.
Well, first of all, the good news is that no one's test was inconclusive. We have conclusive results on everyone.
Really?
Absolutely.
Great.
Later, crime and punishment takes its toll.
This is not funny anymore.
But first, the guys get fired up with the steam machine gun.
I'm gonna see this thing actually fire for the first time out in the wild. Let's go.
Stay tuned during the following commercial break for a MythBusters exclusive.
Awesome.
As the team tries to bust a brand new MacGyver mini-myth.
Let's do it.
Stick around.
Welcome back. It's now time for the MacGyver mini-myth moment of truth. I've got here a busted fuse and a light that won't go on. The question is, can I repair this fuse with only a chewing gum wrapper like MacGyver did? Let's see. Moment of truth. Ah, it works. It's my favorite thing about MacGyver. So much of it is true. How much? Find out when you watch the MythBusters MacGyver special.
Adam and Jamie are involved in a steamy affair.
Working on these machines is great for my skin.
Using the Civil War specs and modern materials, they've built a steam-powered machine gun.
It may not look like it, but it's working.
With Jamie drawing the line at firing automatic weapons in the shop, it's off to the wide open spaces of the Alameda runway. Here, the team will tackle the central unresolved question of this myth. Did it function effectively as a weapon of war?
That's it.
There are a lot of conflicting stories about this machine gun.
Absolutely. We have reports of it firing distances between 100 yards and 300 yards. We have reports of it firing 200 rounds a minute, 300 rounds a minute, 400 rounds a minute.
And we have Corporal James Whitaker's account that balls the size of walnuts cut a target completely in twain.
To test these